That's just a hair over 18. If you've been mountain biking long enough, chances are you've had a pair of brakes that you thought didn't work well enough. Maybe you thought your only option was to swap the brakes out, upgrade, and buy a better set of brakes, when in reality there's a number of factors that could affect your braking performance. We recently received this Cannondale Moterra 2 as a test bike. While we really liked a lot of things about the bike, we felt that the braking was a little bit underpowered for what the bike was capable of doing, which was a great surprise considering it's got 220mm front rotor and a 203 rear, big 4-piston brake calipers, and what should be a really powerful brake system. We reached out to Magura and found out that Cannondale chose to spec this bike with their lower friction or longer lasting brake pads. The reason behind that was that Cannondale thought, e-bike riders maybe might be newer to the market, slightly less advanced, and didn't want such a touchy, grabby brake pad. And they felt that was the best combination to give users a safer, more reasonable braking stop power, and also increase the longevity and lifespan of the brake pads themselves. Magura sent us new rotors and their new performance pads, and today what we decided to do was come out here, do a 20-0 stop test. I'm gonna pedal with the bike in the turbo mode. Once I enter into that arrow, I'm gonna grab the brakes as hard as I can and try to not fully lock out or skid the rear tire. I'm not grabbing that brake hard enough. 5 rounds of 20-0 stops with the factory spec'd pads. I'm gonna then swap out the rotors, swap out the brake pads, bed in the new brake pads, which we will discuss momentarily, and then reconduct the test for 5 more 20-0 stops and see just how much of a difference the brake pad compounds will make. We'll see what we get. Round number 1 of the official scoring. So we're gonna measure from about the axle. That's gonna probably put us at about 19.5 feet. Boy, that might be a couple inches shy of 19 feet. That might be the shortest one I've actually done yet. We'll call that 19. Round number 3. I'm gonna put that at 19.8. Boy, that's just shy of 19. We'll put that at 18.8. Back to 19.5. All right, so we're looking at 18.5 to 19.5 feet, a pretty solid average. What we're gonna do now is swap out pads, rotors, catch my breath, bed in the new pads and the new rotors, and then we'll give it a try for a few more and see where we're at. All right, so I'm gonna swap for pads first. All right, so Magura's blue pads are their lower friction, longer lasting pads, so that was the giveaway. These drop in like that? They do. Probably a sight a lot of you have noticed or seen on your rotors, kind of this golden brown, a little bronzing effect. It looks really cool, but that is a sign of a scorched rotor. Okay, put the front wheel back in and time to bed these suckers up. What we suggest doing is putting the bike in, kind of a lower power mode. Just ride up and down your street, lightly dragging the brakes. And then after you let it cool down, get maybe 5 sprints. Just, as fast as you can go, and just slam on the brakes. Don't come to a complete stop, but just before you stop, maybe at 1 mile an hour, just let off the brakes, that way you keep going. Do that about 5 or 6 times. You'll build up a lot of good brake pad material on the rotors, and after that you should be good to go. So, all right guys, so I've pedaled around for a bit, done a few sprints, stopped both brakes, front brake, rear brake. I think we're bedded in. We're gonna do our first of 5 and see what our distance is looking like with the new rotors and performance pads. Round number 1 of the new performance pads and rotors. That's 16 feet. That's a difference. call that 16.5. Wow, that's shy of 16. That's closer to 15 and a half. Wow. $17 and a half. That's about 16.2. So stopping distance essentially went from here to here. We're talking a half a bike length, which, you know, again, may not seem huge to some of you, but when we're talking about something that's like a 2.5 second win in a drag race, like this is a lot. 2 feet of difference is pretty substantial, guys. So thanks to Magura for sending out some extra pads and rotors. It's gonna make a huge difference on the trail. And stay tuned for a full review on this bike, and make sure you guys take care of your brakes. They're an important piece of kit that's gonna keep you safe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out on the trails.